He wrote in the New York Times in April, he said 5 of his witnesses saw or said Bill Casey, or that George Bush was in Paris, and 3 of them actually saw him there at the famous October meeting. We now know that is a total cock and bull story when 5 or 3 of your witnesses are suddenly exposed as fools or liars. Doesn't it sort of knock the case down a little bit?
Not so fast. Those witnesses haven't yet been deposed, and you shouldn't prejudge the investigation. What we do have is a very firm citing of Mr. Casey in Madrid by Jamshid Hashemi, whose dates, as given, all check out, as you may have seen with Mr. Koppel's nightline.
You're talking about a July meeting, Bill Casey's allegedly in Madrid.
There's a preparatory meeting, the first contact, where Mr. Casey attends a meeting in Madrid where the idea is planted in both minds. Both groups hate Jimmy Carter and want him defeated, and both can do each other a favor.
This is one time that Bill Casey, of course, the logs and things show he's in London attending a World War II veterans meeting.
It depends who you believe. Mr. Meese, for example, said Bill Casey never left the country during that time at all. The one time he did leave was to go to Europe at just the time Mr. Hashemi puts him there.
Look, Hashemi's dead, Bill Casey's dead. Tell me, where was the meeting?
No, Jamshid Hashemi isn't dead.
Well, his brother's dead who met and cut the deal. Tell me where the deal was finally cut, in what city, and who cut it, so we can get down to basics.
Well, if you want to get down to basics, you have to begin at the beginning.
No, let's tell us where the deal was cut and concluded.
No. I can tell what you're trying to do. I'm not going to let you do it.
Well, look, if there was a deal, there was a place where it was cut.
I'll tell you how it was cut. 2 groups of people have a common interest in the destabilization of the Carter presidency. They come to an agreement.
Reagan was trying to overthrow it. We agree to that.
There are several meetings. The first one is actually in Washington, D.C., and is admitted. Richard Allen.
Oh, come on. You're talking about the 5-minute meeting where Allen turned around, walked out, and said goodbye?
He now says, he missed the chance of reporting the meeting to the State Department, as he was obliged to do at the time.
There were 3 guys
with McFarlane.
How long did it last?
How long did it last? Look, the same people who turn up in the...
How long did that meeting last?
The same people who turn up...
How long does it take?
It's 5 minutes.
How long does it take?
Cut a deal with the Iranians.
The same people who turn up in the Iran-Contra diagram are found to have been doing the same kind of business before they were elected.
Meese, if these charges are so hilariously groundless, why are you afraid of an investigation? Why wouldn't you welcome an investigation?
Nobody's afraid of an investigation.
Well, why don't you welcome
it? But you're seeing the same thing, the same shell game with Chris Hitchens here tonight that we've seen all along. As soon as somebody says, well, let's pin it down to this date, they shift to another date because they know they can't. And there's been absolutely, I'll tell you why we shouldn't. Because this is just another example of Democratic leadership engaging in an abuse of their congressional powers for partisan political purposes. Absolutely. And there are 3 reasons, basically. First of all, there's a real doubt in many people's minds whether they have the constitutional authority to investigate. Secondly, oh yeah. You
but
show me
you're not out here defending the Constitution. You don't want an investigation.
No. Secondly, there is no credible evidence whatsoever that would justify an investigation. And thirdly, and this is the main reason, is this is going to be another political circus. That's why they're doing it. They didn't wait 11 years to the eve of a presidential campaign just by accident.
Some of them say that the Justice Department should have investigated this long ago, but it was under the control of Ed Meese, and that's why it didn't happen.
Nobody has said that. Nobody. Not one person. You're saying it right now.
He's saying it now, and I'm adding. Okay, let me ask you one question.
No. Wait a minute.
Let me ask you one question, Mr. Meese. How did your campaign in 1980 come into the possession of James Earl Carter's presidential papers? Do you want to tell us now?
I have no idea.
Want to tell us now?
I have no idea.
David Stockman said. Listen. No, look. This is very.
This is the shell game exactly.
This is very serious.
Look at how he changes the subject.
Very serious.
No, it's not serious. It's the same.
Hold it, Ed. I'll talk. Listen, hold it. Look, Chris, we're not going to do the briefing book thing. It was investigated because it was investigated by a grand jury, the FBI, everybody for an entire summer.
Any of the above. It was. Look, you don't realize how lucky you are with the Democrats, Mr. Meese. The Democrats have waited 10 years, and Mr. Foley today says he's doing it against his will. This is not partisanship.
Now. This is already known as Foley's folly.
They wanted everyone to forget James Carter. Look here. This is important.
All right.
David Stockman said, our campaign filched, his word, our campaign filched Carter's papers, a lot of which were to do with very sensitive negotiations with Iran. You were the campaign
You mean the
director.
briefing
Why don't
book?
you tell us how they got the briefing book?
Because I never saw the briefing book until way later. I never had anything to do with getting it.
yeah.
And David
You
Stockman said
bet.
a lot of things that aren't true.
Oh, sure. Now you
Yes.
say.
And I said it then.
It's like Hannibal Lecter. His pulse.
Come on.
His pulse doesn't go up when he's lying. November 25th, 1986,
Come on.
a press
Chris,
conference he
we're
gave on
here
Iran
to
contract.
discuss-
Not one word
we're
is
here to
true.
discuss-
Not one word
Wait a
is
minute,
true.
wait a minute. Oh.
Not one word is true.
You are lying.
Every
You are
single
lying.
thing.
You are lying. Everything I said on the 25th of November,
I'll see you in
I gave
court.
the outline of the whole Iran Contra thing, and I won't stand still while you sit here and lie.
a revolting development.
No.
Hold it,
It's
hold it,
typical,
both gentlemen. Hold it.
typical in the nation, I'm afraid.
These are two thwarted investigations.
Oh, come on
Two
now.
investigations.
Come on.
Two investigations.
Hold it,
One of the theft of Carter's papers, and one of the Iran-Contra
All right,
connection.
Chris.
Were both covered up and derailed.
Chris,
both covered up and derailed.
look, you're telling
All
me-
you need to do is complete the two investigations that were derailed by people like
All right,
Mr. Meese
okay.
holding positions of trust.
Look, you're going to get your investigations. What we're trying to get from you,
we
we're
won't
trying to
bubble
get
on
from
this
you,
time.
we're trying to get from you, where did the meeting occur, where the deal was cut, whereby Casey, with presumably the authority of Reagan and/or Bush, says, we will send you guys arms.
In Madrid is the quick answer.
Oh.
In Madrid?
In Madrid.
Well,
Madrid-
the Paris meeting was the
No,
big
wait.
one in October.
The essential meeting, and the one for which the best evidence has so far emerged, is Madrid. The evidence for the Paris meeting is being assembled, and don't worry, we'll get it to you.
There is
But
no evidence of
Where is
Casey
the
being in
evidence?
Madrid. There is,
Ed Meese.
Yes.
When,
There is no
in a-
evidence
in a
of Casey being in
democracy-
Madrid.
In a democracy,
Right.
this is how we work, or at least this is how I think we should work. You may think this is not true. A lot of people think it is true. There is circumstantial evidence that suggests it might be true. I, for example, think there's absolutely nothing in the idea that there are American POWs still in Vietnam. But a lot of people are very agitated about it, and I say, fine, let's have an investigation. Let's give people subpoena power, call people under oath to find out the truth as best we can, because that's how it ought to work in a democracy. And I'm saying to you, why shouldn't we do the same for this issue?
Because you have had a good example of it tonight. When people who are willing to tell untruths and make things
it's
up,
me you're talking to.
as Mr.
Hey, cut that out.
As Mr.
Cut that
Hitchens
out.
has tonight.
Cut that out.
Listen, I listen to
I'm
you,
not
now
gonna
you
be
listen to me.
by a cover-up merchant.
Oh, come on now.
Who lied all his way
come
through the
on.
Iran. I'm not
You're
having that.
now you're
I'm
absolutely-
walking. I'm walking.
Good. Then you go ahead and walk, fella, because you're not telling the truth, and you're not telling the truth if you say I covered up anything. I never covered up anything.
You're a liar and a cheat and a thief. And you'll see you in court if you want.
Come on.
No, we'll have it out.
Here is a
We'll have
rotten
it out.
liar insulting.
We'll have it out.
Insulting,
You
making
want to run
absolutely
your
untrue statements.
You want to run your press conference on the 25th of November again? 86. Every word is a lie.
Hitchens, you are a
Every
liar.
word is a lie. High
You're
crime.
absolutely
High
wrong.
crime and misdemeanor.
I think we've
We're going
just
to take
illustrated-
we're going to take a
I
break.
think we've just
We're going to take a
illustrated
break,
why
and we'll be back in 1 minute.